How's it going, everyone? My name is Mulder and welcome to GameChron, your #1 stop for tips and tricks on your favorite video games. Today we're going to be talking about Destroy All Humans gameplay tips and tricks part 3. In this short but sweet video, we'll talk about Crypto and his latest weapons I've gotten for him along with some powerful upgrades. Also adding into the mix is what new weapons I've gotten for his Flying Saucer and upgrades I've added to it to make it even more of a death machine. You're going to need these upgrades once you take on those side challenging missions along with some more difficult missions later on. So definitely stay tuned. If you enjoy this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for a lot more. Now without further ado, let's dive into our Destroy All Humans tips video part 3.
Primitive laboratory, a cage, and humans are being held against my will, and not in the fun way.
Let's start things off with Crypto. Now the latest upgrade I've got for him is his Disintegration Ray at level 3. This makes the Disintegration Ray do a lot more damage towards your enemies, and more importantly, it destroys enemy vehicles a lot faster. This makes taking down some of those challenges in Area 42 a lot easier to conquer. But moreover, it's good to know that your Disintegration Ray has a lot more power behind it and a lot more destruction, which makes taking down multiple enemies at once when you're surrounded in the later missions a lot easier to handle. Trust me, you're gonna need this upgrade as soon as you can. Next up is the Ion Detonator at level 2. Now the Ion Detonator at level 2 makes this weapon a lot more powerful for crowd control. Now not only does this weapon have a lot more ammunition, but now every time you destroy an enemy tank or vehicle, there's a slight chance it may morph and turn into more ammunition for your weapons. This is very useful in modes like say Rampage when you're surrounded by multiple enemy vehicles at once, but now that they can now transform or mutate into more ammunition if you're lucky enough to get it, definitely comes in handy. So definitely upgrade the Ion Detonator at level 2. Now what I've completely maxed out is the Cortex Scan at level 3. Now the reason why you want to upgrade the Cortex Scan at level 3 is because you're going to be doing a lot of stealth missions in the midway point of the game. Now this game does give you the option to go in guns blazing at any time, but if you want to get those side missions completed to get even more for your own DNA, you're going to want to go in stealthily. Which thanks to the Cortex Scan at level 3, you don't have to scan mines very often, and you'll stay cloaked a lot longer. Now last but certainly not least, the upgrades I have for Crypto is his Psychokinesis, which is now at level 3. His Psychokinesis at level 3 now allows you to lift up vehicles or enemy tanks whether they're damaged or not. This makes taking out groups of enemies a lot easier, but also is that in the later challenging missions of abductions, you're going to have to capture large vehicles. This can range from jets to tanks to anything that the game requires you to get, which thanks to your Psychokinesis now being at full power, it makes these challenges a lot easier to accomplish. So definitely try to get his Psychokinesis at level 3 as soon as you can if you want to create more mayhem as Crypto.
So much for wholesale carnage. I guess I'll just have to settle for ripping your limbs off one by one with my bare hands until I find it with my bare hands.
Now let's talk about his Flying Saucer and the new weapon and upgrades I've gotten for his ship. The brand new weapon I've unlocked for his ship is the Quantum Deconstructor, which is now at level 1. This weapon is perfect for Armageddon mode, but the one downside to it is that the moment you unlock it, you're going to have very low ammunition for it, which is why you need to get up to at least level 1. This allows you then to have 3 powerful shots that, if you shoot these in a group of large buildings, those buildings will be destroyed automatically, which by the time your Deconstructor destroys those buildings and you're focusing on other buildings with say your Sonic Boom, you're going to be able to get those Armageddon missions done a lot faster. So be smart when you use your Quantum Deconstructor on groups of buildings when you can, because again, at level 1, you're only going to have 3 shots, so make them count. Next up to add to the destruction is the Sonic Boom, which is at level 3. Sonic Boom, again, is still one of my favorite weapons to use on the Flying Saucer. Not only does this thing at level 3 now fully destroy buildings with only a single shot, but it also fully destroys enemy soldiers, enemy tanks, and even mechs on the ground too. The Sonic Boom is best used in modes like say Armageddon mode, or if you need to make a hasty retreat during one of the more difficult missions. Another great thing about having a Sonic Boom at level 3, you're also going to have a lot more ammunition to go around, which makes it all the more fun to use this weapon. Next up is the Death Ray at level 3. Now the Death Ray, since you have the Quantum Deconstructor and Sonic Boom at high levels, the Death Ray may seem like a weapon you're not going to use that often, but it's best to have it at level 3 either way. The Death Ray is best used when you're trying to take out targets while you're doing your side missions. For example, some of the side missions may require you to take out only a certain amount of tanks to anti-aircraft guns without damaging anything else in the area. Since the Sonic Boom and the Quantum Deconstructor can just wipe out everything in the area, it's better to have a more accurate weapon on hand that does enough damage, which is where the Death Ray at level 3 comes in. And last but certainly not least is the Flying Saucer Shields at level 3. As you are progressing further on to the later missions and even in more tougher challenges, your ships could be a lot more vulnerable to more enemy attacks. That's why you need to upgrade your shield at max power. Even at max power, you're going to have to try to find vehicles on the ground that you can absorb energy out of while you're continuing your rampage. I definitely recommend that you shouldn't try to do any of the more difficult challenges in the later missions until your saucer shields are at level 2, but at best level 3. You'll be surprised how quickly you can be shot out of the sky if you're not properly prepared. But again, with all these new upgrades that Crypto has both on the ground and in his flying saucer that I just named, you're going to be an unstoppable force out there in the field. And that's it for our Destroy All Humans gameplay tips and tricks part 3. We'll be finishing up this game in our final video of Destroy All Humans, but until then, definitely stick around. We're also wrapping up our Rocket Arena tips and tricks video series, so be sure to check that out. We'll be covering our brand new game, Pathfinder Kingmaker, very soon, along with future games as well, such as Cyberpunk 2077, Assassin's Creed Valhalla, Watch Dogs Legions, and so much more. So be sure to stick around. As always, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for a lot more. I'm Mulder, and I'll see you next time in the GameChron.
Curse you, pathetic human!
Ah!